NBA fandom. We come here yet again to talk about yet another MVP who's being hated on. My camera is falling. It's a lovely day when an MVP gets hated on. It's a lovely day, isn't it? Because I just don't understand. When will NBA fans be happy? And when I say NBA fans, it's a generalized statement. Please stop falling. It's a generalized statement because, of course, not all NBA fans are mad about this. Basically, if you haven't known, Nikola Jokic won the 2023-24 NBA MVP. And first of all, I didn't make an award show video, and all the awards basically all came out. So I'm a little late for that, but I did have him as my MVP. And then he won MVP. And of course, with this MVP award, I had a whole talk about it in a previous video that I could probably put in one of the top corners. But basically, I had a whole talk where I was saying if Joel Embiid didn't get injured, he would have been my MVP easily. But once he got injured, it was kind of hard to predict, wait, now what? Now who's that guy? Who's the next guy who deserves to win it? And in the end of the video, I didn't come to a conclusion, but as I thought about it more and more, I decided Nikola Jokic is my MVP. And he won it. And I think he deserved to win it. He was the most valuable player for his team. He was the most valuable player running their entire offense, basically. Best player in the league. And I mean, that's not always the MVP, but he's also leading the second seed in the West, And compared to Shea and Luka, who are the other candidates, Luka, he's leading the fifth seed in the West, so that's not as valuable. He didn't bring his team to as high a height. And even though Shea was the 1 seed, he wasn't the sole star, the number one. He's of course the number 1 guy over there, but he also has Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, the rest of the team. And it's a really team effort. That's how they got there. And for the Nuggets, you could say the same thing, but at the same time, Jokic is just, without Jokic, I see the Thunder without Shea as a better team. Yeah, as a better team than the Nuggets without Jokic, at least in the regular season. Because the Nuggets without Jokic in a regular season are probably, but then again, the Thunder without Shea, that's honestly a good question. So if you think about it from that standpoint, Shea does have a conversation to win it. But that's not the point of this video. That's the other conversation. Jokic was my pick. But you know why I'm a little annoyed at NBA fandom right now? Basically, before the MVP, at the end of the year, every year, there's a narrative pushed. And I don't know who starts it. I don't know how it gets pushed. But there's a narrative pushed for some player or some players to win MVP. And Jokic, of course, doing Jokic things, wasn't really doing nothing, no media, no attention, just chilling, doing his thing, playing basketball, and winning basketball games, doing what he does best. And then you had that random narrative push for Shea. Out of nowhere, people were saying, Shea's doing this and this and this. How is he not the MVP? And he's leading the best team in the West. How is he not the MVP? And I'm like, what the heck? Where is this all coming from? I mean, Shea's a great player. Don't get me wrong. Shea's doing his thing. He had a great season. But why was there a random narrative push for him to win the MVP right at the end of the year? I don't really get it. And the same thing happened for Luka. And I mean, Luka had an amazing season. He averaged 34 I think it was, points per game. 9 rebounds, 8 assists, something like that. He averaged great numbers. And he led his team to the 5th seed, which is why I was saying I don't know if he should win it. But then there's still a narrative push for him. He's averaging 34 points a game and he's not winning MVP? What the heck? Fun fact, Kobe averaged 36 points a game and didn't win MVP. And people were in an outrage. People are in outrage about it nowadays. But back then, Kobe wasn't even the second best candidate to win MVP. I don't even think he was top 3. It was Steve Nash, LeBron, and maybe Tim Duncan. I could go back. I know for a fact Kobe was not the number 1 candidate to win MVP that year. Or not number 2, because he didn't win it. But this was 2006, if I remember correctly. This year, Kobe averaged 35 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. And he was 4th in MVP voting. And of course, people back nowadays, they'll look back at that and be like, what the heck? How didn't he win MVP? How did Steve Nash, averaging 18 points a game, 10 assists, like how did he win MVP? Kobe wasn't even top 3. And then now you look at this race with Luka. And Luka, of course, he is top 3, but like he's averaging similar numbers. Well, not similar, but like I guess a little similar, at least scoring wise, to what Kobe was doing that season. The Lakers were the 6th seed that year, and the Mavericks this year were the 5th seed, barely above the 6th seed. Like it was a really close race in the West, coming down to like the last few games. So from that standpoint, Kobe and Luka are in really similar situations this year. Of course, Luka had more help than Kobe did, but still, it's like Luka and Kobe both averaged a ridiculous amount of points all year and didn't get the MVP, and people are gonna say they got snubbed because they're like, how does he average these numbers and not win MVP? But you have to remember, it's the most valuable player. It's not who has the most numbers. It's not who scores the most, who gets the most assists and rebounds. It's the most valuable player. And Luka is a really, really valuable player to his team. He's one of the best players in the league right now. But Nikola Jokic, he's the best player in the league. He's the best player on his team. He's always coming night in, night out, balling, hooping, whatever you want to say. And he's leading his team to a top 3 seed guaranteed in the West, because it could have been top 2 if they won the tiebreaker with the Thunder. So you just look at that and you can't. That's why I gave Jokic the award, and that's why I can see 100% why Jokic won the award. And it's not that crazy to say that Luka could have won it, or it's not that crazy to say that Shea could have won it. But to say that Jokic didn't deserve it at all is crazy. And the thing that that baffles me so much is how Jokic fans were NBA fans were in an outrage last year when Embiid won the MVP. When Embiid won MVP and went into the playoffs and lost in the second round again for like the millionth time, people were in an outrage. And I made a video about it too. People were like, oh, Jokic should have won MVP. Jokic should have won MVP. Jokic got snubbed. Jokic should be a 3-time MVP. And everybody was mad about it, and everybody was hating on Embiid. And then this year, we come into it, Jokic finally gets the MVP that he should have won last year. And this year, I'd say he actually deserved it because Embiid didn't meet the games requirement, and Jokic did. And Jokic had an amazing season. I'd say when it comes to most valuable player, he had the best case compared to the other candidates that he was running against. Even though they had great cases as well, Jokic had the best case in my opinion. You could say they had better cases, but you can't say that Jokic didn't deserve this award. You can't say that Luka got robbed, because he didn't get robbed. It was a fair fight. Jokic won. It just baffles me how NBA fans can turn on some players so quickly. How you go from saying this guy got snubbed, he should be a 3-time MVP, to when he finally becomes that 3-time MVP, now you're mad that he got the award. I just don't understand it. And this is like the 3rd time in the past 8 months NBA fans have made me mad. But that's my rant, guys. I hope you enjoyed. The playoffs are doing great right now. Jokic is down 2-0, which just makes his conversation it just makes the hate go to him even more. And I mean, he probably doesn't even care. I mean, he cares, of course, about winning an MVP award, at least a little bit, because he had a little press conference about it. He was like, oh yeah, it's a team thing, and they're doing good, the team's doing really well, I gotta thank all these guys, blah, blah, blah. He probably cares about the award to at least an extent, but he's really going for that championship, and then he's going home. And it's like, he's down 2-0, and that's the part that kind of sucks, where it's gonna be like, oh, people are like gonna say your MVP is down 2-0 in the playoffs. Like, what's going on? Luka's down 1-0, and Shea's up 1-0. But like, it's just the playoff is not a playoff award either. That's something that people have to get into their heads, because I've been preaching this. It's a regular season award. That's why Joel Embiid won it. is because it's a regular season award. That's why he could have won it this year. It's a regular season award. If you play good in the regular season, you're gonna win MVP. If you don't play good in the playoffs, it doesn't matter. You still might have a chance of winning MVP because of how you played in the regular season. So, please, Jokic deserves this award. And I mean, I can't control you, but like, don't be so quick to jump on him. Don't be so quick to turn on NBA players, because I just never understand how people can be rooting for him just months ago, saying he should have been a 3-time MVP, and now when he finally gets that award, they're mad. You can never win. You can never win. But yeah, that's about all I have to say. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. It'd be cool if you could subscribe too, you know. I might not be able to upload a lot for the next few weeks. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, it's most likely no. But, you know, appreciate y'all. Bye. I have nothing else to say. Bye. Ugh, that's so weird. Whatever. I'm gone. My voice is tired from yelling.